I created a soft glam for this festive season, and I love how simple and easy it is and how well it turned out. So, if you want to see how I created this, keep on watching. First things first, I always start with my brows. Even before moisturizing, I do my brows because it just helps my products to stick better and doesn't slip and slide. Here, I'm using precisely my brow from Benefit, and I love how good the formulation is. It's not too pigmented but not too waxy as well. It's right in between. The defined tip of it just helps you create that hair like strokes that looks super natural, and you can really fill in your brows with definition. Once that's done, I go back in with my spoolie and just blend everything out so it looks soft and natural, and then I set them with a tinted brow gel. It instantly lifts my face and makes me look awake, and especially this from Benefit has fibers in the gel which just gives so much volume and add that fullness without adding too much effort. Now onto the base, starting with skin prep. It's such an important part to any makeup look. Use a skin prep tailored to your skin type, and I promise you it will change the way your makeup looks and stays. I have dry skin, so using a hydrating primer, and I really like this drugstore option. Affordable and so good, and it just keeps my makeup in place. But as we are doing a Diwali glam, you want it to stay for the entire night, so I'm using a elf grip primer, and this one is such a staple in my long lasting makeup routine. But make sure you are keeping some time between each product so that everything lays beautifully and doesn't pill. For foundation, I want coverage but still wants it to look natural, and to make it look more glowy, I wanted to add K Beauty liquid highlighter, but just look at that, it just doesn't work. I love the product, I love the formula, but packaging, it just makes me cringe. But anyways, moving forward, the best way of applying foundation in my opinion is priming the brush really well with foundation and then blending it on the face in dabbing motion, section by section, and layering more for building up the coverage instead of using too much at one go. This just makes your base look very natural with giving desired coverage. And this foundation particularly, I can't stop using this, especially for glam makeup. It just blurs and give airbrush finish, which I love. Don't forget to blend it to your neck. It just makes things look more cohesive, and ears also if that's looking different. Take your time to blend it and make sure everything looks seamless before moving to another step. I prefer doing my bronzers before my concealer, and especially with this bronzer, I love how glowy and natural this actually looks. It just melts into the skin like butter and gives its very glowy finish. And especially for the festive season, you want your makeup to glow instead of being a little too matte, because I'm a dry skin person. So I like my makeup to be a little glowy, and this adds such a nice glow to the skin. Now onto the concealer. I'm using Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer, and as the name suggests, it's literally high glam in a bottle. It just blends so beautifully. It's hydrating. It has got full coverage, the usual areas under the eyes, around the mouth, in a lifting position, so that when I blend it, it just gives me a nice lift. And then pairing it up with a Hot Slap concealer, which is a highlighting shade for me, this also gives so much coverage. It's a high coverage concealer, so I love pairing these two together. And look at that, when I'm blending it, I'm taking it in the upper direction. That just helps clean the bronzer as well and gives that lifting effect to the face. And meanwhile, I let my concealer under the eyes marinate because I want it to have full coverage. So I'm going to blend other areas and add a liquid blush. I'm using YSL here, and I know it's not heavily pigmented, so I'm using it directly on my face. But if you know a blush is heavily pigmented, I would suggest it. Take it on the back of your hand, prime your brush really well, and then go in on top of your foundation so that it blends seamlessly into the skin. Now moving on to blending the concealer. The concealer has been dried to like 60-70%, and now it won't spread a lot and give you the right amount of coverage that the product needs to give you. And I'm not going to close to the lash line as there are the maximum creases that I have, so I'm going to avoid that part, and then using the same concealer on the eyelids as well to neutralize any pigmentation there. Now using my foundation brush to make sure there are no harsh lines, going in with my trusty Huda Beauty powder. This is such a beautiful powder. It just blurs everything out. Make sure you pre-blend the powder onto your puff before you go in to set the concealer in place. This just makes sure that your powder is not patchy and everything is blended beautifully into the skin. I like to go in with my powder on my eyelids as well as around my mouth and entire face, just leaving my cheeks aside because I want that to be glowy and not super matte. So I'm going to set everything in place except for my cheeks. This will also make my makeup super long lasting, and that is what I want from my powders. Now moving to eyeshadow, this is the most fun part, but I still want it to be achievable and easy so that you can recreate it. So I'm just going to use a mid-tone brown with a very fluffy brush to diffuse the shadows very nicely so that it looks very natural, and then using a deep brown shade in the outer corners to create more depth, to create more smokiness to the eyes. Make sure everything is well blended before you go in with the shimmer shade. Now applying a shimmer shade onto the centers of the eyelids to give that pop, and this really opens up the eye. Now adding a wing liner, this is optional. You can also do a smoky liner, but I love a wing liner. I love how it just elevates everything. So I'm going to add this wing liner, but I'm going to do this off camera because this video would be 1 hour long if I'm doing this here. So I'm just going to do the other eye and get right back. I'm going to use a green eyeliner to add more pop to the eyes, and then blending it out with a brown eyeshadow. This will look more cohesive in my outfit. I'm not going all green, but just adding that pop of color will make all the difference, and I love how it actually turned out. Using a curler to curl my eyelashes, and I'm not big on false lashes, so I want everything with my mascara. So this is the YSL mascara that I'm obsessing over right now. It gives so much volume and length to the lashes. With this, I don't feel the need to put false lashes because this adds so much drama to my lashes, and this is also a very long lasting formula. I know it's expensive, but I would say it's worth your money. If you want to invest in a good mascara, this one's definitely going to be your best pick. Layering my liquid blush with a like-minded powder blush, this just adds longevity and gives more pigment. And then adding the glow booster, this is my favorite glow spray. I love how good this is. This is Dalba serum spray, and look at that glow that it has given. Moving on to lips, love a good nude lip combo, starting with ABH lip liner in shade Chai, and then pairing this up with the Natasha Denona nude lipstick, topping it up with a Pat McGrath gloss. And this is how it turned out. I really liked how my base has actually turned out, just adding some jewelry to make it more festive. And this is the completed look. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next.